Yeah, so this intro scene is totally new to me, and we'll go through this part together just because it's probably relevant information for you guys. This is the Factorio free play. Your task is to launch a rocket into space. You will need to research advanced technologies in order to unlock the rocket silo. Start small, work your way up with automation, and don't forget to protect yourself from natives. By the way, the natives are aliens that do not like pollution. So as you scale up your factory, more and more of them come to attack. You'll see on my map here, um, thick squares like this one, I believe, are alien spawners, and thinner, tinier dots are usually aliens. I don't see any here, but that's probably because they haven't spawned. Grid patterns like this are at war. It tells you how much is in it. And then I think that's it. You can discover oil later on. I think uranium. But for now, I'm sure all I have in my arsenal is iron, stone, coal, and copper. So, yeah, I'll get started. This is the very first step of automation. We've got a burner mining drill automatically putting iron into this furnace, which is then burning the coal to make it into an iron plate. Very first steps. So, a little bit of an update. I went ahead and made a pump, which pumps into a boiler, which then produces steam, which goes into a steam engine, which then produces electricity, which I'm eventually going to link up via power cables to this electric mining drill, which we're going to hook up to produce iron onto a conveyor belt, which will go over here and feed the stone furnace. It's still a lot of work to do. We're definitely making progress. I think when I last played, the boilers did not look like this. They took up like a 1 by 1 space. Now it's like a 2 by 3. So definitely a lot of changes I'm going to have to adapt to. I think this is also a completely different sprite. And a lot of stuff looks a little bit different, but yeah. Alright, so we've gotten the system hooked up. However, we don't have enough stuff to make this whole thing automated yet. So as you can see, there's a very small semblance of automation going on here. But there's a lot of user input that's required right now. So, just giving you updates as I go. This is our first actual bit of kind of automation. So, we've completed the track. I moved the furnace up here, and we've got an inserter picking up items from the belt and putting them into the furnace as need be. There's a bunch of flaws with this current system. First of all, if the boiler runs out of coal, which it probably will pretty soon, we have an issue. If this runs out of coal, we have an issue. Yeah, I think those are the only two things operating off of coal currently. So, yeah, I'll get going on fixing those issues, which will in turn create more issues, and it'll just be a giant mess. As I mentioned earlier, little dots are enemies. Oh, I thought I saw some. But yeah, let's go check out the aliens real quick. As you can see here, there's these little holes in the ground. If I walk near them, these are actually alien turrets that will shoot at me if I get too close. The alien base is up here, and you can see the little small biters wandering around. And now you can see those tiny dots on the... I didn't know you could do that. What? Okay, that's a new feature too. It's wild. But yeah, you can see these biters walking around. Later on we'll get ranged units, but these are the basic units of the aliens, and this is their spawner. So yeah, that's all I've got to report. Alright, so our next little innovation, I've put 2 inserters here, and yes, I could have used the chest, but then it would have stored lots of coal, which then, by, you know, by storing lots of coal, it would have created a delay for the coal to go down here. I don't have enough conveyor belts to bring it down where I want it right now. So right now it's just more so interested in getting this automated. I did bring electricity up here, and I very well could have used the other thing, but I just wanted to use for this burner miner drill first, or mining drill. So if I just put one singular coal in here, it will automate this whole thing once these guys have power. Unfortunately, they don't currently have power, so that kind of needs to be fixed. And hopefully I can make it down here fast enough that it does get fixed in time. So all you have to do is take some of this coal, slap it in this burner here, and now everything that runs on electric power is going, which hopefully means, yep, this is being fueled by those inserters, as you can see. So now, as dumb as it may seem, we've got copper coming in and going in on one side of the belt, and coal coming in on the other side of the belt, which is kind of stupid in a sense, but this essentially allows us to transport both of these resources down on one belt, so I don't have to build as many belts coming down currently, which is a big thing since we do need to start processing copper. Now we have this inserter both fueling the furnace with coal and with the copper required. The other thing we want to do eventually is kind of take this coal off this track and automate it into this furnace and this boiler, and then we have automatic copper plate and iron plate generation. So now we've kind of upgraded our furnace thing, or our coal generation really, to having 2 electrics going at all times, and these guys are pulling tons and tons of coal out, and realistically I should place this one higher, but for the sake of, no, actually I can still get power if I move it up. So if I move this up 1, it still gets power, delivers there. Then there's no overlap between these two. Anywho, we're generating lots of coal now, which then is going to come down here. And since we don't have a way to sort this via items, what we can actually do is, if we have this inserter here face this track, as long as there's a valid coal object, or object on this side, it should always pull from this side. So as long as our production up here is faster than this can pull off, we will only get coal on this belt, which then can be used to fuel this furnace and our boiler. So that'll be the next big step. So our next little upgrade we've made is I've provided storage chests for each and every one of the 3 resources we're providing or creating right now, which are just coal ore, iron plates, and copper plates. This way there will never be a backup in the system, and essentially we're just infinitely producing them until these chests are full, rather than the 100 max in this production slot is full. For the coal, I basically just used a 2 inserter proxy in between these 2 tracks, so that these coal miners up here don't have to stop producing in case this belt gets full, because theoretically it, well, realistically it still can get full, because we only have 1 inserter throwing coal from on this track into this track. So if it can't meet its speed, then it'll be an issue. And right now we just ran out of power in our boiler because we don't have automation delivering coal to it currently. So we'll start that right on back up. But soon that'll be automated, and then everything will be automated to just go forever until these chests are full, and then we can start working on some major upgrades to our system. And we have officially automated coal for our boiler. So now our power network should always be on. I definitely need to work on this and some of my pathing of my circuits, just in terms of their efficiency. I really would like to ultimately split this, pipe coal onto here, and then have tons of furnaces. I'm having a little bit of issue with that right now, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is build a lab and try to get splitters really quick, and hopefully After we get those, we can make this thing look a lot better. So we've got our laboratory up and running. Lab Benjamin Ziegler. And when we slap science into this, it'll start researching whatever science we have selected. So this thing says it'll use up 1 red science, which takes 15 seconds 20 times to learn logistics. I believe that's how you read this. It seems like there's a bunch of trees now. I don't know. But anyways, we need to make 20 of this red science to power this sucker so that we can get our logistics upgrade. Then we'll make everything look nice, and I think that's around the cutoff point for, you know, the amount of updates you guys will see in this video. Something I should probably talk about that I haven't talked about is this electric network information system. If you click on a pole, you can see how much electricity you've been using over the course of certain periods of time. So for the last hour, you can see as we get our network set up, we're using more and more. And our production will always match it because we don't really have anywhere to store it. So what it does is it always produces enough energy for whatever your demand is. At a certain point, as you can see right here, our max is 900 kilowatts. So we don't use that much ever currently, but if we were to hit that peak, you would see a time where production is actually lower than consumption. But for now, this is our thing. And it tells us what's using what and what's producing and yada yada yada. So this is important information to have. I figured I should talk about it. So for those of you who didn't see it, the logistics upgrade provides us with underground belts, which are great because they let you say, hey, I want to travel coal from here to here. Then you can do that without going and messing up this belt. And splitters. And splitters, what they do is they take all the items that are coming in and they split them between 2 tracks. So I can, for example, split this track and move the coal collection up here somewhere, and then have a iron plate mass production thing down here. So that's probably what I'll do next. For now, I'm going to keep this as is, and then later on when I have more iron, I'm going to make this look a little bit nicer, but we'll probably end the video with the new and improved iron production and processing. So, as you can see, with the power of splitters, although I haven't quite made this coal track whole again, we now have a whole ton of furnaces, and we actually need to increase our iron supply, but a whole ton of furnaces running off of this, with our coal supply and iron supply leading into them, and I meant my iron supply when I said coal supply earlier. We've got 6 times the iron output now, so we're quite literally mass producing iron so fast that this inserter won't be able to keep up anymore at some point, and that's the start to everything. So we've got ourselves a little bit of an iron factory going on right now, but that's about it. And so I think that's all I want to talk about, and I think this is a good spot to end the video since there's lots of progression to still be done, but we've made a fair amount of progress this episode. I'm sorry my cat is rolling his head on the keyboard, so some stuff is happening. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this video on Factorio. Let me know if you want to see more. I'd really like to get some feedback on this one because I really do enjoy this game. And it's been a lot of fun setting up this start of a world for you guys. Like I said before, I think that's it. So yeah, please remember to like the video if you actually liked it. Dislike it if you didn't. It's a really good feedback statistic for me. Morpheus, you gotta stop rolling on the keyboard, buddy. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.